It wasn't supposed to happen like this. The AJA team Taylor made Invitational had a clear narrative going in miles. Russell, the #1 junior in the country, was expected to cruise through yet another tournament and add another trophy to his growing collection. The spotlight was already fixed on him. And somewhere in the background, buried in the rankings at number 604, was a familiar last name, but not a familiar threat. Charlie Woods. Yes, that Charlie Woods, the son of Tiger, known more for his swing, similarities, and PNC championship cameos than for AJA dominance nobody was talking about. A win, in fact, most didn't have him pegged for a top 10, finish a solid performance, maybe, but dethroning the top-ranked junior in the nation that wasn't in the script. Until it was because what unfolded over 3 days at Streamong Resort wasn't just a feel-good story about a kid stepping out of his father's shadow. It was a full-on ambush. Charlie Woods didn't squeak past the competition. He dismantled them. And when the final putt dropped, he stood alone at the top of the leaderboard. Not just ahead of Miles Russell, but 7 shots clear of him, a 15 under total. A final round 6A performance that left fans, officials, and fellow players stunned. This wasn't a case of one lucky round or a collapse by Russell. It was surgical, strategic, and completely unexpected. Charlie came in as a storyline. He left as a statement. The shock waves hit fast. Social media lit up. Analysts scrambled to dissect what just happened. How did a player ranked outside the top 600 walk into one of the strongest AJA fields of the year and walk out a champion? Was it a fluke, a burst of form? Or is this the moment where everything starts to shift? Because if Charlie Woods can do this now at 16 against the very best of his age group, what happens next? One win doesn't make a career, but it can ignite one. And now every eye in junior golf is locked on the same question: did Charlie just flip the future of the sport on its head before the headlines? Before the victory lap, Charlie Woods was in many ways a question mark. Golf fans knew the name. They'd seen the swing. They'd watched him stride down fairways with Tiger at the PNC Championship, mirroring every movement like a living tribute. But those were cameos, not campaigns, glimpses of potential, not proof in the world of elite junior golf where rankings are cold and unforgiving. Charlie Woods was just another kid chasing a breakthrough, 5 AJA events in, and the best he had to show for it was a tie for 25th. Meanwhile, at the top of the mountain stood Miles Russell, no one in the AJ rankings, a player with wins consistency and a reputation built on dominance. If one was going to win at Streamsong, it was Miles. The field was stacked with talent. But Russell wasn't just a name, he was the bar. And when Charlie's name appeared on the t-shirt, few expected him to be more than a familiar face, a feel-good footnote to the main event. But while the spotlight burned elsewhere, Charlie was quietly evolving. Not through viral moments or flashy scores, but through grinding training, watching, learning. Every tournament, every cut, every hard-earned round had been shaping him into something far more dangerous than a headline, a competitor, and at Streamsong. That quiet evolution finally roared to life. He didn't show up looking for attention. He showed up there with a game plan, and for the first time, the gap between potential and performance disappeared. Every swing was sharper, every decision more deliberate, while others battled the pressure. Charlie played like he had nothing to lose and everything to prove. It wasn't loud, it wasn't showy, but it was lethal. The making of a silent hunter wasn't about one viral swing or one round of brilliance. It was about the slow burn, the quiet rise of a player who stopped being someone's son and started becoming someone to fear. Charlie Woods may have entered Stream as an outsider, but he left it as something far more compelling. A problem, one that the top of the junior golf world now has no choice but to solve. By the time Charlie Woods stepped onto the first tee at Streamsong for the final round, there was a quiet tension in the air. He was within striking distance. Yes, but the idea that he could actually finish ahead of the #1 junior golfer in the country, that still felt like a long shot until it didn't. What followed wasn't a hopeful run. It wasn't a lucky stretch. It was a calculated dismantling of the field. Charlie fired a 66, lacing together 8 birdies with surgical precision. The front 9 a statement, birdie after birdie after birdie, and suddenly the leaderboard didn't just have his name on it, it had his fingerprints all over it. According to Reuters, the final tally was 15 under, a 7-shot gap between Charlie and Miles Russell, the tournament favorite. Not a photo finish, not a narrow escape, a route, and not against a soft field either. NBC Sports called this the strongest AJGA lineup of the year, loaded with the best juniors in the game. Golf Digest already predicted what that round would do to his ranking historic leap. Doesn't even cover it, but numbers only tell part of the story. What really shook the golf world was how Charlie did it. with poise, with calm, with the kind of control you don't see in players his age, especially. When the stakes get high and the cameras come out while others blinked, Charlie kept steady while the top names in junior golf scrambled to hold on. He pulled away. It wasn't just a win, it was a warning to every coach, every scout, every opponent watching. From the sidelines, this is what happens when raw talent meets readiness. The name Woods had always commanded attention, but after this round, it's not just because of Tiger. Charlie didn't just rise to the moment, he owned it. And in doing so, he may have changed everything. Stream Ong Resort doesn't give away low scores, it demands them the kind of course where one misjudged line one. Over-aggressive swing can end a round before it even starts, and yet in a final round filled with pressure and top-tier competition, Charlie Woods made it look manageable, not by overpowering the course, not by showing off, but by thinking through every shot like a veteran far beyond his years. There were no reckless heroics, now necessary risks, just a 16-year-old picking apart a championship. Layout with strategy, discipline, and poise, he didn't just avoid mistakes. He anticipated them, plotted around them, while others chased. Highlights: Charlie chased efficiency, par when it mattered, birdie when it counted. Every decision seemed rooted in something. Deeper than talent, it's something practiced. That's the part people miss. This wasn't just a physical performance, it was mental, the kind of round built, not just on swing mechanics, but on emotional control, on knowing when to push and when to pull back. According to the New York Post, Tiger himself said, "Charlie is forging his own path, and it's becoming clear that path isn't about flair. It's about clarity, confidence, knowing exactly what you're doing before you even step up to the ball." It raises the question, is this just raw talent, or have we been watching the result of years of elite mental training unfold? Right before our eyes, Charlie didn't win this tournament with swagger. He won it with silence, letting his game do the talking, letting his discipline set the tone. It wasn't the loudest performance of the years, but it might have been the smartest. And for the players who tried to chase him down, that might be the most unsettling part of all. Because anyone can catch fire, but thinking your way to the top, that's a whole different game. For years, Charlie Woods lived in the glow of a name that reshaped golf history. But what happens when the glow becomes a spotlight of its own? When the shadow doesn't just move, it strikes. That's what Stream Song just gave us a glimpse of what it looks like when the next generation stops waiting and starts taking over. Charlie isn't just Tigerson anymore. He's the storm that the top juniors didn't see coming, and now they're scrambling to keep up. If this is the baseline, then golf's youth leaderboard just got a seismic shift. Charlie didn't win a fluke tournament. He outplayed the best at one of the AJA's toughest stops. So what comes next? College recruiters are watching with wide eyes. PGA Tour exemptions might not be so far off, and with his composure, control, and the name that still carries weight across every fairway. Is it even too early to talk about a pro path? One win doesn't define a career, but some moments are louder than others. Some win Secho in ways that feel different. This one didn't just shake up a leaderboard, it flipped a narrative, because this wasn't about Tiger. This was Charlie's round, Charlie's tournament, Charlie's warning shot to the golf world. So now we're all asking the same question, is this the start of a Woods legacy too? Are we reading too much into one brilliant weekend? Let us know what you think in the comments. One thing's for sure, the spotlight is no longer borrowed. It's earned, and the golf world better be ready because the storm has arrived.